not difficult. Dear, oh dear. Okay. Right, the Virgin Media used to do the two-box system, and then when they brought the Super Hub out, which was a load of rubbish, they incorporated it all in one hub. That's what they did. And you can turn off the wireless section of it and just have the Ethernet section on. Anyway, that's what they do. When they sent that through Claude, they did exactly the same thing, sent it in the post. Here you are, just connect it. So I just connected it and it didn't work. Put the old thing on, it worked. But what they didn't say, and there was nothing on in the instructions, you had to ring them up with the ID number that was on it so they could register it so it would know it's you. And I thought, well, why isn't that done before they put it in the post and send it to you, all ready to plug in? They didn't say, and they still to this day don't say.
G4EN Echo November. Sorry, I didn't get the last letter of the call sign. This is G4 ABC, Thornbury District Amateur Radio, and we're just testing out a little system that we've put together. It's only running with 2 watts into a long periodic, and fully quietening on AA, although you were rather scratchy, so I don't know where you're coming into AA from. But this is G4 ABC. Perhaps we could do your call sign again, and I'll see if I can get it this time. Operator here is John, G4 ABC.
Yeah, G4 ABC, G4ENZ. Yes, good evening to you, John. Nice to hear you there at the Radio Club. Hopefully the signal's a little less scratchy. I've increased power. My name is Martin. QTH is a place called Churchdown, which is just between Gloucester and Cheltenham. I only realised just then that I was running 1 watt. I've increased that now to 10 watts. That's hopefully a marked improvement. And okay on the system you're testing out. Well, I have a little bit of smooth noise on AA, so I can't actually tell you whether you're fully quietening into the repeater or not, but certainly the audio sounds fine. And nice to meet you for the first time, John. So back to you if you want to carry on with your test. But I thought I'd just give you a quick call to tell you you're a good signal. G4ABC, G4ENZ.
G4ENZ, G4ENZ, G4ABC. Thanks for coming back, Martin. Yeah, the repeater isn't fully quietening down here. We think we probably need a little bit more height, and a few more experiments should put us in business. We've never run 77s from the club before, so at the moment we're running into the repeater on 2 watts. As I said, long periodics, so not much in the way of forward gain, but some forward gain, a very small amount, and it's certainly noticeable that you can pick out the direction of the signal, even with the long periodic. So yeah, so we're quite happy. Thanks ever so much for coming back. That's good, and glad to talk to you. Although not fully quietening, and as with you, not fully quietening, but it's probably down to our system here, which we can now go ahead and improve. G4ENZ, G4ABC. Over to you, Martin, perhaps for the final.
Yeah, G4ABC, G4ENZ, yeah, fine there, John, all very good. A little bit of... just catching a few breaths in each sibilant. Not all the time, just the occasional sound. Just has a little bit of a splat sound with it, if you know what I mean. Can't think of a proper word to use, but 5 of the long periodic. And I've never used one of those pieces, but clearly a useful antenna for multi-band. So I presume you're using it for 2 and 70 and able to listen on all points in between, which is good. Okay, I'll let you get away, and I think it's the first time I've ever worked through GB3AA. I just saw it come up on the search for within earshot. G4ABC, G4ENZ.
G4ENZ, G4ABC. Okay, Martin, yeah, well, I think we're done with AA. I think we know what we need to do. And considering we're up on a fire escape with a little mast and a handy done.
Back in with you, Abby. Said you'll get a problem working on the HF. Using the Amazon Green. Do you? Yeah. That's the problem. That's a bit of an issue. We better not do that when I have my Virgin line put in. I can do it now, but in the foreseeable. Nothing much what's telling in there, or on the computer, or on the telly. Don't know where to put the cable, in there or in the other room. Yeah. Onions from your shallots, you can get in a pickle. Getting them through HTJ.
G7 LSR. An interesting thing is I've changed over to EE, as I said, they give me a better deal. Part of the signing up process was to choose your own code. Whereas I had a sticky label on the back of the modem, which is the conventional way of doing it. They asked me to put this code in, make up a code, like a password sort of effort. And they would send a box with that code in it. So that's exactly what you were talking about, isn't it? Don't know why they couldn't have done that. Like you said, I think they get about 10 days before they send you the box, the modem, after you booked in. I would have thought was enough time to program the box with a specific code, or the other way, tell you what the code's going to be before the box even gets to you. So it's interesting, all the things that you have to deal with. And of course, just put in not only this antivirus into the laptop, but yesterday I put it into this one, and the screen shots were quite a bit different. So whereas you could recognise what the screen was like on one, when you look at the desktop one, had a different layout, so it took a while. And when I was looking through one of the pages, my wife came running up the stairs and said, "You've got a phone call, the bloke wants to get hold of you," see? And gave me my mobile phone. And it turned out to be some bloke with an Indian accent, of course, not speaking very good English, was actually ringing from California. And he said, "We just detected you had an error come up on your screen." So I played the innocent and said, "Oh, have I?" I thought, don't like the sound of this. Anybody can say he's from this program, but then who else would know that I was playing about with Norton at the time? Very odd that. I didn't click on any phone numbers or anything. So whether it was you just happened to be looking, and I filled in my name, address and phone number, and almost as soon as I put this phone number in, he was ringing me back, all the way from America on a mobile phone. Presumably they've got some way of doing this cheaply, I should think, otherwise that would cost a fortune for normal people to use a call like that. Okay, where are we going? We're going down to Dave. It's got to be Dave. I don't know why I bother with a list. It's easy. Let's just go to the next one. Over to you, G7BYN.
wow, you've got to be careful when people ring through like that, because they rang through to me. I've told you as a warning. Oh, we noticed, we're from Microsoft, we noticed you've got an error on your computer. Are you in front of your computer now? Can you do this? Can you switch it on? Yeah, VNC, so they can control it, and they look at your hard drive and say, it generally comes from Nigeria. Yeah, they can do it cheap. There's no problem at all to mobiles. What they do, they use a thing called Skype. And Skype calls, how Skype works, it actually dials from a local area. So in other words, if you're ringing California, it will go through on the internet to California, and it'll be a local call from the Skype headquarters to the California number that you ring, things like that. So what was it? And I had a problem the other day where I was trying to get through to a company in Ireland, and the mobile signal kept breaking down. He didn't have the best of signal, but I have a terrible signal. I was in Pill, and for O2 and Pill, it just doesn't mix. So I said, yeah. He said, Dave, he said, have you got an iPhone there? He said, why don't you try FaceTiming me? So that's what I did. I FaceTimed him. So because we had internet connection, absolutely perfect. And I could see him, I could watch him and everything, because FaceTime's a lot better than Skype. I know you'd always Skyped with Paul, didn't you, Ken? But FaceTime is a lot better as an Apple system. Perfectly clear and absolutely amazing. No dropout at all. So that's how we finished our conversation and the technical things that we were doing on the telephone. If Ed is still listening, Amazon and eBay, I won't have anything at all to do with eBay. eBay is a den of thieves. The lot eBay account nicked. She tried to get another one, tried to buy tickets online, and she paid her money, but she didn't get the tickets. All sorts of things through eBay. Paul had his eBay account hacked as well, so that was Paul, and that was Emily had hers nicked, hijacked. Laura had problems, so there's every one of my kids had problems with eBay, and I won't have anything to do with it. It's all a load of thieving. What was it? And this guy doing what he was doing, buying stuff to order, just buying it, you could have bought it cheaper from Amazon direct. So what he was doing was buying it cheap, selling it dear from Amazon, and letting Amazon do the delivery as well. Dear, oh dear. Oh, the other one I had was an email that all it said was don't, and it was some naughty word beginning with F, me. And that's all it said, don't F me because I'm hard. And I looked, I thought, well, who's this guy? I don't know him from Adam. Anyway, it all boiled down to the fact. The next email I had from him was, take a look at my eBay account. Blah, blah, blah. I sell this, I sell that. Well, that was against the rules and regulations. He also said he was a power seller. Now, power sellers are supposed to be the cream of la cream. And what he was doing was selling knives and hunting stuff on eBay, which was also against their regulations. How he became one of their power sellers, I never know. So I contacted eBay, not having an eBay account. I couldn't get through to anyone, emailed them, and all I had is a stock reply, oh, there's nothing they could do. Well, he sent this threatening email through to me. Obviously, it was meant for somebody else, but he sent it to me by mistake. Obviously, he was trolling the internet, finding email addresses to send his advert to. So, no, I won't have anything to do with eBay. Round to Claude then, M1CL G7BY. Oh, incidentally, you can have two devices on the same channel, Claude. It sends out its packets. If you remember the old packet system on amateur radio, where it's all on one channel, it will send packets and it waits for the other one to pack it, and then it takes it in turns. It sets up a protocol where it takes it in turns sending the packets. It does slow it up, but it's totally feasible. You can have loads and loads of people on the same channel called M1CL G7BY.
Yeah, you got one of the Yates radios, huh? Yeah, well, it wasn't on the same channel, it was hanging around the station. Or it Well, I had a, oh, this is a few months ago actually, I ordered some lights or something like that. Oh, I've ordered, yeah, about two things I've ordered off of eBay. And, you know, it hasn't been what it said on there. Of course it doesn't write the review, yeah. You know, not even anything, you know. Negative, and they get in touch with you, they go, oh, you know, well, we want you to, whatever, well, no. Oh, that was it, memory card I bought. It's dodgy. Actually, I put it in the computer and it started, but then it didn't. But it also didn't, well, wreck my tablet. I didn't want to work the tablet for a bit, so I turned it off, luckily it came back a while, I'm going to put that in there. But they, yeah, well, you should send them back non-pack, you know, with the packaging out, non-out, we'll give you money back. I said, no. I said, how do I find, you know, how do I know if the thing's faulty? And all the rest of it, I said, they're fake. And, oh, the backwards and forwards, well, keep asking me, and I said, no. Well, that's it, you got like negative, and they didn't like it. And this went on for a couple of weeks, actually, the negative thing. And I got eBay involved as well. And they said, oh, well, you know, we'll give you, your money's being sent to you. I said, when I see it, okay, I'll redo the review. So all I did was, I left it exactly the same. Said, well, I've had a balloon of hassle, getting the money out of them. And I'll give them 1 star, because I did get the money back. And he sent me another email. Oh, no. That's it, don't want nothing to do with it. But, and the other thing was, I ordered some ID lights to go on, these lights to go on the bike. And it was advertised as 4, and it arrived as 1. And they wouldn't have it, and I said, your picture shows 4 units. And you say, pick what colour, not how many units, pick what colour. I got some a couple of weeks later from somebody else, and I actually got in contact with them and said, no, what it says on there is 4 units. What you get is 4 units. And they were half the price, and they were there in 2 days. HDJ, I'm not sales. Nah, big fiddle. Those are HDJ. Yeah, those old grannies you was chatting to, or they was chatting to you, they ain't up to speed, are they? Because they're going to leave the lights on overnight. Just the output of them. Dim them down. Don't really dim them down, eh? What's the other thing for you, Clud? Railway related, Seven Beach, oh, David liked that one. Seven Beach railway line. They shortened the platform. So they're going to have these allegedly longer trains, 5-car trains, on about a 2 guesstimated one, a 2-car length platform. Right, round to Cannes. I see time's creeping up. 9 minutes. Sir HDJ.
G7 LSR. You mean if I read this right, they're going to shorten the platforms because they got some longer trains coming? Can you correct that? Over.
That's what I heard on the BBC, and would they lie to me? Go.
Oh, no, definitely not. No. I must have misheard you. Okay. That was nice to know that someone's still using the Severn Beach line. That goes back a few years. Yeah. Right, okay. Well, not a lot else to say here. Oh, yeah, I know. FaceTime. I made a note of FaceTime. I haven't tried FaceTime yet. If I'm finding... I think one of the problems, if you try and Google this, and you might get about 10 different sites come up, how do you know which one's a reliable site? On the McAfee, I had, when I did a search, green or red or orange dots turn up next to the site, indicating whether they felt they were safe or not. There was a grey option as well if they hadn't checked it yet. But on this new Norton, I get nothing like that. So I wonder if there is some sort of program or sub-program within Norton that will identify risky sites. Okay, over to you then, Dave. G7BYN, G7LSR.
G7B1, yeah, time is getting on. Yeah, AVG recognises risky sites and it flashes up. It also recognises if you've got a bum email. It also marks things spam, if it knows it's spam, even though it's addressed to me and it's advertising that I know comes through like Argos, they send me because I've registered with it, things like that. It does mark it as spam because they are spamming people. But your choice if you open it or not. Then it doesn't say it's dangerous. If it's dangerous, it will mark it so. Caution when advised when opening and things like this. So that's there. Yeah, I like AVG. It's good. Although recently it's putting adverts now that wants you to pay for some extra services. The extra services are not the they're the malware services, the clean up the computer services, the ones where it will speed it up and do things like that. It wants you to pay. Well, I don't want that to do. There's plenty of freeware around that would do that job. So yeah, it's to be watched. You can do a repeater system, Claude, on instead of using that wired nasty thing that annoys HF frequencies through your mains wiring. You can put a repeater. I got a little repeater. I power mine with a battery when I want to use it. That will pick up your signal and repeat it. So you can do that. Put one of those further downstairs, or sort of thing, to an area that it can receive signal, if you know what I mean, and it repeats it, digipeats it. So you can buy those that are non-invasive on HF frequencies. So there we are. Then of course you now know all my views on eBay, and it's brought out by Claude's experience. I buy stuff off Amazon, and I buy stuff from China on Amazon. Buy stuff for Baofeng on Amazon. There's no problem. You know it's going to be a copy of something. No problem at all. And of course you've got the Amazon guarantee. If it doesn't come through, then Amazon gives you your money. Things like that. But you're dealing with traders, and you're not dealing with Joe Public who got a mask over his head and wears a balaclava and sits in front of his computer seeing who he can rip off next. Another classic one I saw on eBay was there's a Hornby Loco that you can buy. It's only a little railroad thing, not really for, well, I suppose it's for kids, about 20 or 30 quid, and I saw it on double the price on eBay, and you think, he's having a laugh, and you double the price what you can buy in shops, so it's not. I look from time to time to see what's there, but unfortunately when you look through Tesco's site, it often passes you through to the marketplace on eBay, which is a bit annoying. Anyway, round of Claude, M1CL with time getting on, G7BY.
M1CL, yeah. Yeah, I do prefer Amazon, as you say, it's nowhere. I'll tell you what, I got a new wheel on my bike, on the back of my bike, Shimano Nexus 8-speed up gear. And on eBay there was this company called Taylor Wheels, and it turned out they're in Germany, basically. So looking on there, found a set of, well, people were doing sets of wheels and all the rest of it, and realised that they were buying them cheapish off of this Taylor Wheels, then reselling them at about £50 profit, like on top. Well, this Taylor Wheels also had an app, so I downloaded the app, and then you could deal with them direct. Well, my brother bought me a new wheel for Christmas to go on my bike. Picked the bike up on Thursday, that's another story. Yeah, it was ordered on Christmas Eve, about 4:30, and on not the day after Boxing Day, amazing. I had something else which I ordered off of eBay, and it just took so long. And I wanted this brilliant, review and all the rest of it, so I did it. Gave them a review. I said, ordered a wheel off the Taylor wheel, blah blah blah, and all the rest of it. And yours within this country, so why could you deliver it? But yeah, all the things you're talking about virus software. I got some malware on my tablet. Luckily, I moved it off the tablet onto the card, and I did a little bit. I downloaded some more antivirus, and it gave me a little bit more information on it. So I thought, right, now what have I got on there? I've got no photographs on there, but it should be on there because I'd taken those photographs, so I went looking for it, and I took a load of folders off, and then deleted them on it and scanned it, and eventually I found it. And one was in a app, a folder with apps in it, and it was little green man, and an Android man, and there was another one somewhere else. As soon as I found it, scanned it, and that was it. Got rid of it. So I've got one lot of antivirus. It looks good, but it does miss a few things, so I've got another lot now on there. But they keep out. A lot of these other ones, they keep, oh yeah, well, you can get this. Money, isn't it? Went for a nice little ride on Saturday, down to Temple Meads, over on the DMU, the Cardiff, to the university, spent probably 5 hours up at the university, then I came back, rode round Cardiff Bay, got on the train, and came home. HDJ and what's else?
Did it change since you last went down there? I wonder, yeah. Oh, look at the time, it's 9 o'clock. Right, thanks for being there, gentlemen. I must go. The programme's on the television to be starting now. So, cheers, and see you further down. Electricity bill. Sir HCJ, okay. Good night.
Well, I got it. Nice to speak to you all tonight, and pass it on to you, Dave, from G7LSR.
Okay, 7-3 Dave, 7-3 Ken. Catch you again next week, and yeah, I'm here, Claude, so I'll pass it around to you.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. Cheers, Ken. Cheers, other Dave. The radiators have got a little AA battery in there, and he's had these at his house for a bit of time. Well, he finds that they don't last very long. I said, what do you mean they don't last? Well, the rechargeable batteries don't last very long. So now he's got all these super duper blah 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 batteries. He hasn't even charged them. He's put them in. I can see them lasting not very long. I tried to explain to him that when you've got something which is draining little bits of power and things like that, they don't seem to last very long. Rechargeable batteries. They tend to be like to be used, don't they? Almost all especially metal hydrides. Now he thought they were lithium ion. I said no, it's the wrong voltage. So I don't know how long before that crashes. But this little repeater you mentioned, where did you get it from? Like because Mapping, he does like shopping in Mapping.
Yeah, G7B1. Yeah, they do sell them in the holiday camp, I do believe. This one was sent across from Holland with a jukebox. Of course, we don't use it, so I did. Yeah, you can get the little. You can actually turn an old Linksys hub into a repeater. Some of them, if you look on YouTube, you can buy them for a £5, and you can, or a Netgear or something like that. A lot of them will act as repeaters. Some of them haven't got the proper software, and you can reflash them with the software. You have a look, YouTube videos are miraculous when you see those. So you can turn some of those into this one was switchable either as an access point or a repeater or a hub or something like that. So a hub extender thing, but I'm trying to think who makes it. This one is only about 1.5 inches square, and it's about the thickness of an older style smartphone, and about 1/4 inch thick. And I powered it with one of my brick batteries, the one for charging up a mobile phone, and it lasts for ages on that. Enough for me out in the shed. If I want extension of Wi-Fi, I just put it in the ute room where it's can get hold of the signal, and it repeats it out to the shed. So it works. So that's all I was interested in. There was another thing I was going to say. I was going to mention to you. When I said I couldn't get my emails, if I went onto another computer, I wouldn't have been able to get them pulled because it was the actual server, the email account server at Virgin Media was totally down, and that's what was causing the problem. It wouldn't even receive emails from anybody to send them, so I could retrieve them from the webmail. So their servers were down, so no way could I get them, and it caused me 2 days of headaches, of having to go out later at night and install these tickets. So it's so annoying, and of course they don't care, and there's no comeback. Oh well, it went faulty, but their wording of it, and I got it on the I'll get it on the telephone here while I remember it, if I can get it up. I'll just put my code in. Oh, incidentally, when Ken, if you're still listening, when you talk about FaceTime, it's only on Apple products. So it would do from an iPhone to an iPad, and iPads and all. It's Apple's own. So if you just got a generic thing, then there's no chance of it working. So, and this Apple phone is a pain in the elbow as well, because the home button is dodgy on it. Right, there's camera roll. Let's have a look at the camera roll. And it said on it, and I'll read it verbatim, and it says, Virgin Media Mail is having trouble sending and receiving emails at the moment, so there might be a bit of a delay. And I call 24 hours more than a bit of a delay, especially when companies and things rely upon them. And one CLG7B1.
Oh yeah, well I'll tell you what, if that was our brother, he knows his way, and he'd get compensation on it. Definitely. He'd have compensation. We had it last year actually, in Cratch. Somebody cut through a cable. And it was quite funny, because I just happened to be going along, and there was somebody merrily digging away, like, and all of a sudden there was a bit of a flash, and they cut through a great load of cables. When I came back the other way, there was all these Virgin bands around, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Of course, when I got in, there was no internet, and I worked it out. But, yeah, they sent me well, let's put it this way. They sent me a message through the phone. So I got a phone from, somebody thinks we did something. My brother, he said, well, we'll plug one end in there, and we'll plug the other one in your room. What do I want it in my room for? He said, well, then it can go down through the signal can then go down through the floor to the radiator. I said, well, you didn't plug it in the socket next door to the radiator. Why take one of my sockets up, you know what I mean? And as soon as I said, oh, well, it's going to cause interference all over VHF. What do you want? Oh, you are bad to come and get cold, or do you want to use your radio? I told them I said I've been licensed now 20 bloody years, and I've never had a decent VHF setup. Never, ever, flipping, well, it's like when it comes to Christmas or birthday, what do you want? I mentioned to me, radio-wise, never at all. Yeah, alright, I got to disappear. I had a bit of a hassle earlier on, actually. I went out and, oh, it's a pain, it's raining. about 10 minutes ago. So, yeah. The time I left home at 6 o'clock, went to fish ponds, and got back to Tesco's to do the lottery, and hour and 3/4 gone, and we'll see how.
Yeah, G7 B1. Have you not got your van anymore, Claude?
I've got to do the exercise. I haven't done any exercise. Oh, I'll tell you another one about that. I was going to Cardiff last week, but I was going to go on the bike. I took the bike in to get it repaired, or get the wheel put on. I took it on the Thursday before. No problem, he said it. It'll all be ready by next Wednesday. I phoned up on the Wednesday, and of course it wasn't. Ah, he said, just a minute. Oh yeah, he's just put it in the thing now. I thought, yeah, and if I hadn't phoned up, it'll still sat there being nothing being done. So I managed to get the bike on Thursday afternoon. No, Friday afternoon. I got the bike on Friday afternoon, but before that I had a problem with the headlights with the light bulb beam had gone on the left hand side, so I want a new bulb. Halford's is waste of time. It's a hard job, I can't do it myself. They couldn't make up their mind if we were going to charge or not. Bob Marshall's want £18 a bulb. Last Street Garage, oh, that's no problem, £8 a bulb, he said. Well, he couldn't get the bulb out, could he? Couldn't get the bulb. He said, I can't just stand there, I can't get the bulb out, blah, blah, blah. Then he got it out, and then he told me to come back after dinner, and I came back, and he had another look. Oh, well, you have to come back Monday, he said. Stuck the bulb in, and the only flipping thing was stuck up in the air, so I couldn't drive the van. Well, I forgot it. I got an auto, and my brother's friend, Lewis, he's an auto electrician. Well, at the time I thought he couldn't do it. Well, I phoned him up yesterday, Monday, and he said, I'll fit it in at the end of the day. And it's quite funny, he just came along, and he just got the bulb, and it flew out, and he said, whoever put that in, he said, didn't have a flipping clue at all. So I have now got lights, and I'm having an upgrade on my lights, not the side lights up to LEDs and the interiors up to LEDs and one CL.
Yeah, okay, G7B1. I know what he did. He just put the bulb in upside down, didn't he? He didn't put it round the right way. I made a tool so I can get mine out on the van. It's only a clip, but you can't get your hand round it. And there was at one time in France you had to carry a spare set of bulbs. If not, you would get a fine. But they've stopped that now since there's been loads of companies. Like there was a French car, and I can't remember which one it is, to replace a headlamp bulb in a garage cost £300 because they had to take the front bumper off and everything to change the bulb. I think that is part of the building regulation on a car should be all bulbs must be easily accessible. M1CL G7BY.
Well, when I was down at Shop Fitting Company, one of the guys down there, he found that on the Fiat vans, it was dead simple. A couple of little two screws on the headlights and the whole unit just came out. And then you could put it all together and just put it straight back in, no realignment or anything. And that's what they do. But then later on they got another van. They tried doing it and landed up with no bits. But yeah, that should be I mean the back ones are no problem, I can do those. But there just isn't the room to get. And the other thing is the waterproof covers have fallen off as well. Well, last year, what happened to me last year, all of a sudden the speedo and everything died on me. Well, I looked around a few places and I went a few places. The quotes were 300, 400, 500 quid. The dashboards, you name it, whatever. So I mentioned my brother, he said, oh Lewis, he's an auto electrician, he'll come around and have a look. So he came around and I left him out there, and about half an hour later we rang him and he says, working. He said, what was wrong? He said, oh, there's a couple of dry joints in there. So he got out, took in his van, sorted the dry joints, put it all back together. 20 quid, that was it.
Yeah, people want money for old rut. There's nobody does anything reasonable now, but apart from that guy who did it. But you know, there's company-wise, they're not. I don't know. They just don't want to know now. They just want to make a quick buck out of everybody, don't they? Anyway, I better go. You said you want to go, so I wish you 7-3, Claude. Catch you again next week, hopefully. And this is G7BYN just listening for your final, and then I should be pulling the plug, going in for a cup of cocoa. Cheers.
Well, it's like the bike. I had this, I basically had the derailleur taken off in the centre gear bar, and so that meant he took all the other bits off and whatever. Well, he had to take everything off, all the brakes and everything else off, but when he put it all back on, he didn't think, oh well, here's the grip, we'll put it all together. He said, so he put it all on as he took it off. There was big gaps between everything, between the grip and the flipping. Why didn't he look at, why didn't he look over that, but you know what I mean? It's just, they're fitters, that's all they are. There was another thing actually, and he said, oh, the part doesn't fit, it's wrong. And he tried to explain to me, and all I could see in my head how to do it. And he put a pattern part on there, and he got 30 quid. I said, well, the original part is £12. So how come the pattern part cost 3 times as much? So in the end, he charged me 8 quid for it. Speak to you later, and we'll see you.
Yeah, take care, Claude. G7BYN clear.
G7LS, are you still there, Dave?
Yeah, just.
Okay, this two-box thing I've got here, pretty soon now, any day now, I'm expecting the new modem for EE to arrive. Do I retain the white box, the first box of the protocol for the wires, and just use the, to replace the TalkTalk modem with the one that comes in the next few days, or do I have to replace both boxes over?
I don't know with them. The modem is for EE or TalkTalk or whoever, and then from there it will be via an Ethernet cable to your other box, which is going to be your hub with Ethernet antennas, either in with Ethernet ports. Generally they put 4 ports on the back, and it'll have aerials as well. Sometimes the aerials are inside now, but they used to have sticky uppy aerials.
Yeah, this has got no external antennas, so I presume there is something looped round inside the frame like the old portable radios. And I suppose now, with the frequencies becoming higher and higher, I don't suppose we would require a very big aerial for that frequency, over.
Yeah, but there's still 2.4 gigs. If you go onto the 5 gig network, which is a different network, most computers still don't do it. I mean, I bought a new laptop and that one hasn't got 5 gigs on it, over.
Oh, right, okay. I got a very nice modem that I bought some time ago before I went into TalkTalk. And I'm only using TalkTalk's modem because that's the one they sent me. But that one's got sticky outy aerials, 2 of them. And I don't know which one's the better. I suppose the later built one is probably faster. But I'm always tempted to go back to the old one and see if it works. But if it doesn't, of course, there's no guarantee from TalkTalk.
Yeah, but that'd be your hub or router, not your modem with your sticky outy aerials, unless it's got both built in. I'm looking at a Linksys here, which got 2 antennas on it. And the reason why it's got 2 antennas is there's a differential receive and transmit. Not receive on one area, transmit on another, but it receives and transmits off both of them, and it does a repeat thing off both. But my smart hub in the loft from Virgin Media, that does 5 gigs, but I've got nothing that receives 5 gigs. Problem with 5 gigs is it's got very short range and it won't go through walls. So although they've released this this frequency for Wi-Fi, it's very, very short range. It's even shorter than 2.4 gigs. It may be faster, but it'll only go through one room wall. It won't go, it's very limited what it will do. So a lot of people don't use it.
It's very tight to the television band too, that 5 gig, isn't it? Bordering right on the edge. I had to have special filters put in because of it. In fact, at the end of Shire Way, which you drive past down the dual carriageway many, many times, you'll probably see the 5 gig mast there, and it's a couple of cabinets just on the left, just past Shire Way. Have you noticed them? Well, I expect you have in your trade. Over it.
Well, yeah, I've noticed them, but they can't be anywhere near 5 gigs. The telly's not near 5 gigs, is it, over?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen the image on the scope, and you couldn't slide a piece of thin paper, A4, between the two. Um, they just take the television band up as far as they can, and then it's right next to it for the phone. When I saw it, it was this huge spike there, and I said, "What's that spike?" He said, "That's the television." I said, "Blimey, that's close." He said, "Yeah, that's why we're having trouble with the filtering." And then there was another big spike, slightly farther along to the left. And I said, "What's that one?" He said, "That's the police." So they're up near 5, not far out at all. But it was quite an education looking at the image on this scope. Oh, well, I must go, Dave. But I've just found on the, there's a website here. I'm not sure how I got to it. I was the Norton website. I found it more or less accidentally. But I seem to have found a little sub-program that, and it's free, they say, from Norton, which clears out or identifies the rubbish, the dangerous bits. And it's saying, "Do you want to install now?" I might have a go at that now I've got my new antivirus set up. I haven't got my email program set up on this one yet, so I've got to put Firefox in there next. Well, after I've done this, getting this safe site monitoring thing sorted. And the next thing will be the Firefox going. Okay, back to you then, Dave, from G7 LSR.
Okay, Ken, you keep saying that the television band is 5 gigs. It's nowhere near 5 gigs, over.
Sorry, it's 4 gigs, is it?
It's not even in the gigahertz band. You have a look at the size of your radials on your antenna, over.
Put this filter in because the telephone was running so very, very close to the television frequencies.
You're talking about telephones now. Yeah, the telephone, the television frequencies is just up the top end of 77's band, over.
Yeah, what am I talking about here? Just have a little think about this a minute. What I was getting is interference on the television, and it was the new mast down there, and it's only about half a mile away from me, as you know the location, and I had to put this very tight filter in, and he also tweaked up the gain of a preamp in the splitter, cut the gain down a little bit on that because it was a little bit too much. That's made a hell of a difference, and it was all free, Dave.
Well, they got to, because what they're doing is illegal. They're splattering. They're causing interference on other frequencies that they don't operate on.
Yeah, that was a nasty shock for somebody. Affected their accounts department somewhat, no doubt.
Well, they got accountants and pinstripe suited thieves, as I call people who wear pinstripe suits. They all say, "Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Well, they won't complain. They're not on that frequency, but they're only few kilohertz away. Oh, that won't affect. Go ahead and do it. And they do that. Then they suddenly find that what they do, they can do. Over.
Wasn't run by Trump, was it?
Yeah, could be. Trump was from Trumpton, wasn't it?
I think it was a trumped up charge. Anyway, I must go, Dave. Bye for now, mate. Thanks for your help from G7 LSR.
Okay, cheers, Ken. Take care. M6HYH. Okay, very good evening to you. You're through G7BYN. The name's David, situated in Chipping Sodbury. Back to you, M6HYH, G7BYN. G7BYN. Okay, Phil. Very nice signal, obviously. Yeah, okay. Chipping Sodbury. I can put the power down now, can I? Stand by. Yeah, okay. Put the power down now. Go on, the handy, couldn't I? Okay, Phil. Congratulations on passing. What we normally do, though, you're lucky to get us because we operate a net on this frequency on a... You're quite welcome to join between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. We generally talk to Ken, who's just down the road in Yates, and Claude, there's Eddie in St George, there's Dave, HDJ in Soundwell, and things like that. So we get together, have a little natter. Sometimes it hands off, sometimes it goes into insignificance. We don't know what to talk about, but that's the nature of the game, I suppose. Okay, what we normally do, if we want to call CQ, it's not normal, you won't find anybody on a frequency like this. You should go to the call-in frequency and call CQ, and that's where people will stand by on, and that's 145 500, and people will stand by on that frequency, the call-in frequency, and then you QSY or move frequency down to another one like this one, and have a little natter. So you're lucky to find someone on an old natter channel, but I was still here and just left the radio on. So pass it back to you then, Phil. M6HYH. This is G7BYN. Okay, G7BYN. I just had to dive for the microphone then. I was just entering details in the log. Okay, I feel humbled that I'm the first person that you've spoken to. I've also got an FT817. I think it's a magnificent little rig. Don't be put off by the low power, only 5 watt work in HF. They'll work through to the States on 5 watt, so shouldn't be. I suppose he was doing a lot of the work because he had a beam, but it can be done. You can have a bit of fun, and that's what it's all about. At the moment I'm running a, you may not recognise the rig at all, but it's a Yaesu FT1500. It's quite an old rig now. It's for my birthday some years ago, so it's a lovely little rig. I used to put it in my car, but I use a separate in the car now, but very rarely. Whereabouts are you situated in Chipping Sodbury, Phil? I'm by the turn, so may not be too far away from you. M6HYH G7BYN. Okay. That won't be Kestrel, would it ever? Oh right, okay. Well, I'm in Kestrel. So a little bit away from you. I think in Mallard there used to be another station years ago, a G4 station, G4 PTO, I think, or maybe the G2 PTO. He moved to Spain. There's quite a few of us up here in Sodbury, you know. We do get about some people go off the air and disappear. Other people come back. For some time I've been a little bit disillusioned by radio, and I went to do model railways, and I got model we're here in the shack that's building up. But I have a natter. Quite welcome to join us on a, like I said, put it in your diary, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock dead, and we go through to 9 o'clock. We normally finish at 9 unless we've got something else to say. Just for the hour, just to keep everybody in touch. That's what we really do. And are you a member of a club, Phil? M6HYH, G7BY. Yeah, okay, Phil. I'll let you go and get a book in a minute, your first log book. Yeah, you can say to your wife, if you phoned a random number and wanted to have a chat with them, they'd quite likely tell you to go away in no uncertain terms. But that's what we do with radio, we talk to strangers. But you couldn't talk to a stranger on the telephone, could you? They'd tell you to go away. Also, it's a little bit like fishing, isn't it? Who am I going to work tonight? Who can I get hold of tonight? And things like that. So it's an odd one, isn't it? But I'll let you go and get the book on our standby. M6HY8, I'll stand by for you. This is G7BY. Yeah, okay, Phil. I'll bet you didn't get my call sign phonetically, did you, over? Yeah, I must admit I am guilty of that, and I tend to sort of slur it at the end as well. I beg your pardon, anyway. It's Golf 7, Bravo, Yankee, November. So it's G7BYN. Golf 7, Bravo, Yankee, November. Sometimes, we get the English call signs, or the UK call signs, and we can understand those, but we start getting a foreign call sign. Like your Americans begin with an N a lot of the times. November, they're around New York and things like that, I believe. They got different areas where they work out the M's, the N's, and so on. Then you get European ones, the U for Ukraine, and all the other odd ones, plus their accent as well. And you try and pick it out of the mist. There's a little trick that I used in the early days. I still use it today when I worked DX on HF bands. Record it. Just get an MP3 player, an MP3 recorder, or your phone or whatever, and record the conversation that you have, and then you can work the call sign afterwards and then put it in your log. So I thought that's a good one for you then, Phil. Over. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'm chuffed about, Phil, is the fact that you're clear, you're distinct, and you've got things right. So many teach now, and they don't. The protocol is, and people say, oh, there's Davey, he's nattering on about it. The protocol is, you always, if you're calling someone, you always call their call sign followed by your call sign. And there's so many over the years that get it the other way around, and they put your call sign first, and then their call sign first, and then they'll say, for instance, I'm using my call sign now, G7BY, and putting it back to, and they do that, and it wasn't the protocol. Okay, it's not wrong, it's not incorrect, but to try and keep standards up and keep to a standard, we always, I expect you've heard us all on the net here tonight, we'll always pass it to the call sign. Just think of it, if you're calling somebody in the street, if you see someone down that you know, John, you shout out, John, hello, John, it's Phil here. You wouldn't call Phil here, it's John. The other way around, if you want to call someone who wants more success, you call that station of that call sign first, which is what you're doing. But no problem at all. I think it's a great, all credit to your teacher, Phil. This is G7BY. I've got on the chimney, which I haven't used for some time, on the edge of the house, I've used a Slim Jim, and I swear by Slim Jim. And if you get a book, Out of Thin Air, or something like that, there's only a 5-year book, but how to make them. And what I like about the Slim Jim, it's got a very low angle of radiation, so that it will aim towards the horizon more than a lot of the signal going up into the air. So that's one I like, a Slim Jim. I haven't used it for years. It's on the edge of the house, but of course I'm outside and not inside. That's why I've used it. And then of course there's beams. I've got a 2-meter beam that's 12 or 14, I can't remember now, on a rotator that's on a pump-up mast. I've had great success with that one, 2 meters. A lot of people say 2 meters. I worked, one of the best workings I've done, I worked all around Europe with that one, but one of the best one was on the Scottish borders in the North Sea, a research vessel, a ship, and I was chuffed at that. And but up here in Chipping Sober, the world's our oyster. We're up on the hill, apart from behind us, because I've got the little hillock behind me, which stops me from working in that sort of direction. But working north and we can see the Malvern Hills, can't we, from our houses up here. So we can work, the world's our oyster on 2 meters. I got to look at your course, I can't remember everything. HY8. This is G7BY. Okay, so well for HF, I've just got. I like the idea of something in the form of a dipole, but that's only my personal preference from where we are here. Other people swear by a vertical antenna for HF, and it all depends where you are. Now, for years I've worked mills on the air. You may have heard it, with where you activate a windmill or a water mill. Now, with a friend of mine who's deceased now, we worked at Saltford Brass Mill, and we did with the club I was a member of. They took it on from Don and myself, and of course a water mill is in a valley, and we swore by vertical antennas. We always had great success with them, but in this valley it didn't work, and that was because the vertical antennas got a very low angle of radiation, or a lower angle of radiation, and the most of the power was going into the hillside of the valley. So what we needed is something that would reflect, if you think of it as a beam of light, reflect a signal higher in the sky to reach the ionosphere and then bounce back down again to get out of the valley. So we resulted in a dipole, and the form that we used is called a doublet. It is a dipole, but it's also got twin fibre on it that radiates, and it tunes a bit easier for that. And we had great success with it. So to get out of the valley, we need a different antenna than if we're on top of the hilltop. If we're on top of the hill, the vertical will be the best thing ever. But it's horses for courses. You change things for the conditions. And here I've got a dipole that's connected north-south, so I've got great radiation east-west. So that's why I work into Europe and over to the States. It depends where you want to work, and if you've got a dipole you can rotate as well, that's even better. But it's only a maximum I can put in is just a tad under 64 foot, the total length of the garden diagonally. So that's what I've got. You can lower it, you can have it longer, but droop the ends down, that's no problem. And I always use an auto tuner to tune it, but obviously if you cut the dipole to the length of the band you're using, you don't need a tuner, so that saves a bit of money. M6HYH, this is G7BY. Dave, Delta Alpha Victor India Delta. David, but I'm called Dave, obviously. Yeah, it's no problem at all, Phil. We'll have to meet up one day and show you some bits and pieces what to do when the weather gets a little bit better. We can perhaps get out and put some aerials up. Who knows? What was I going to mention? Can't think of what I was going to mention now. It'll come back to me in a minute when you've gone. Oh dear. I should have written it down. That's another thing. As you get older as well, you should write things down when you try and remember what you're trying to do. Yeah, like I said, we'll try and meet up. We could rig some areas up. Come on the net next Wednesday. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to mention. Amateurs can be a funny lot. You will get some people may be a bit off to you, or new amateurs. They were with me when I had my G7, because I didn't take a written exam. I took one of the first multi-question things. Some people... A thing that you went I do appreciate this, and I said this to other people. You went through training and you had to learn how to handle radio safely. Imagine me. I could transmit using 400 watt maximum. Um, I didn't know how, never even saw a radio amateur rig when I got my license. So I had to learn all by trial and error, if you know what I mean. And I had no training, and I could have done myself a great deal of harm. But you chaps who've got the M3s, M6s and the foundation learn to do things safely. So you learn to do things properly, which we never ever learned how to do it. So think of that. But some people do turn, especially the older guys, I mean older than me even, they sometimes turn a little bit funny. In the early days, nobody would speak to me because I had a G7 license, one of those things that you didn't have to take a written exam. And they used to turn funny. But radio amateurs can be a strange lot, but don't take it to heart. It's just the nature of the human nature, you might say. Over to you then, Phil. G7BY. Okay, G7B1. I know you said you were going to be off, and I normally go off at about 9 o'clock now. I always sign off, you may hear it, and it's one of my own little thing. This is G7BYN, now finally pulling the plug in going in for a cup of cocoa. Cheers on. That's how I always sign off. But, it is, they all say, well, are you going to do the cocoa sign off today? So, at the end of the net, but that's it. Like I said, we'll meet up when the weather gets a little bit better, and we'll do a bit of antenna work if you want to. And I'm not a youngster myself. You say you're in the 50s. I'm coming up to retirement age. I haven't retired yet, and it makes a change actually. The club I was a member of, everybody there had retired, and there's nobody. I'm the only one that still goes to work, and they all say, well, haven't you done this, haven't you done that? I did some aerial work today. Hang on, I'm working. I can do it all. Around you then, Phil. G7BY. Okay, 7-3 to you, and we'll catch up again then, Phil. And like I said, come on our net next week, and we'll have the other lads will be over the moon to chat to you. So, anyway, 7-3, and wish you all the best. G7BYN. Now pulling the plug, finally going in for a cup of cocoa. Cheers all.
HV on frequency.